Welcome to another edition of Left Unspoken. I'm Nick Morganson along with Nick Federa, and now the MLB hot stove season has officially gotten underway, and it seems like the Yankees decided to warm up that stove in a big way.
Yes, they did. So it broke about an hour and 40 minutes ago that the Yankees had agreed to a trade for the Seattle Mariners for their pitcher, James Paxton, who, as you might recall, this past season threw a no-hitter and was attacked by a bald eagle, for 3 minor leaguers. The headlining piece being their left-handed pitcher, Justice Sheffield, who was one of the top prospects in their organization. And the other two, if I'm not mistaken...
I saw some of the names. Oh, here it is. It is Justice Sheffield, Eric Swanson, and Dom Thompson-Williams.
Dom Thompson-Williams is an outfielder, and I think Swanson is a pitcher.
He's a right-handed pitcher.
So James Paxton is about, I guess, initial thoughts, we really didn't think this trade was going to go down. Not that it wasn't going to go down, we just didn't think it was going to go down like this. It was kind of a surprise.
Well, actually, I'll throw one more report out there that John Morosi, who covers baseball for MLB Network and Fox Sports, put out a report before the Yankee trade went down that sources say the Astros refused to include Forrest Whitley in their offer for James Paxton, which precipitated the Mariners' decision to trade Paxton to the Yankees.
So, that being the case, now that Justice Sheffield is no longer a Yankee, I got to say, it kind of does hurt to lose him, because he is a young stud. His ceiling is absurdly high, but also his walk numbers were very high too. Well, and that probably was a little bit what scared them initially, is because his walk numbers were very high. His stuff rated better as a reliever than it did as a starter, and I guess they thought he could have better value as a trade piece.
Well, let me throw a similar situation out there. Does this kind of remind you of the Jabba Chamberlain, what could have been trade situation a little bit?
In terms of what Jabba could have been?
Well, what Jabba could have been in trade value.
We haven't seen enough, I think, of Justice Sheffield to really kind of make that decision, because if you had traded him, let's say after 2007, after the Midge incident, you would have gotten a sky-high return because
that's what I'm saying.
Blew everybody away.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That I think the Yankees learned from that situation that we better trade him while his value is still high so we get something in return.
That could have definitely be a part of their thinking. I mean, essentially, Cashman just had his conference call with the Yankees beat writers, and he basically that they were projecting him as a bullpen arm, and he thinks that they can get their priority, as we've said before on this podcast, is pitching, and Paxton's definitely a good piece, but where I'm a little bit reticent, I mean, I don't want to start raining the hosannas down on anybody yet, because he doesn't really blow me away. He doesn't seem to me as the difference maker yet. Maybe it's because I just haven't seen enough of Paxton pitching. But right. The stats, to me, his stats, he strikes a lot of people out. But that could definitely – I don't see this – I'm just afraid that this is going to turn into an A.J. Burnett situation.
So I have both sides of the coin here. So James Paxton – this is a quote from Brian Hoche, who's been on our podcast in the past, spoke to James Paxton, got a quote. I couldn't be more excited about it. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity in New York. Always expecting to win the way I do. I'm looking forward to being a part of a fantastic team. Looking at what Justice Sheffield had to say, Yankees, thank you to all the fans who followed me to my path in the Bronx. It's been an amazing journey. But we just are now beginning. To my teammates and coaches, nothing but the best of luck and thank you for everything. So with that being said.
So, yeah. So, I mean, plus the guy's Canadian. I mean, he's a good pitcher, eh? The guy can't help but be aggressively polite. But
really?
Yeah, I mean, look, not to offend any Canadians. I mean, we love you anyway. But still, what do you see this being for the Yankees?
Well,
I could definitely see him as slotting in as a number 3.
Well, I think he's going to slot in as a number 2 because you want to split up the 2 righties in the rotation. So I think you'll have Severino as 1, Paxton as a 2, Tanaka is a 3, and then you're going to have to fill in, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah,
what we
we'll
think
get
the
to
rest of the offseason is going to be. But I think, as I said, Severino will be your ace as long as he can keep it up. 2 will be Paxton. You fit that lefty in there. And then 3 will be Tanaka, and then you have 2 more spots to fill.
Yes, and he's definitely got the pedigree. But the other thing is he's also 30, and his injury history was also
well, right. That's what I was reading in some of the reports just now as they're sliding through, because social media has gone absolutely insane. James Paxton is trending #1 on Twitter right now as we're taping this. So I was like, wow, So
I didn't even realize this guy was that popular.
I'm a little surprised. But here's the interesting thing I read, that the Red Sox, yes, the dreaded Red Sox word, they do not bat as well against lefty pitchers.
That definitely could have been a factor in them picking him up.
And by the way, the guy has talent. I mean, the guy threw a freaking no-hitter last season. This past season.
Yeah, he's definitely got stuff. It's just a matter of, well, Sonny Gray had stuff, and
Well, we'll get to that. What's happening there?
Yeah, we'll get to that when something actually does happen on that front, even though it's long rumored that it will be.
I think the guy's a stud. The guy, first of all, lefties are lefties. Even though as cliche as that sounds, lefties mean a lot today. They're valuable.
Yeah, plus he's under control for until 2021.
2 more years, right?
2021. So
it's going to be a little expensive, but he is under control for 2 years.
It's going to be a little expensive, but it doesn't actually add any salary to the Yankees' payroll, because they'd be moving what Gray. He's making exactly what Gray makes, and they'll be moving that. So you're just swapping out one pitcher for another.
God, Gray is like swap and shop radio. I mean, I don't know what to say about him. But now that they've made this move, and now that they have a solid, I guess you could say a solid 3 starters, I don't know where CC fits in this equation. We saw that he signed a 1-year, $8 million deal.
He can definitely still pitch. You can definitely have him as a solid option.
But, like, who do we see? The next rumors we're hearing are Patrick Corbin and J.A. Happ. I've heard Patrick Corbin has been in the rumors for a few years now with the Yankees.
He has, and apparently he's from upstate New York. He's always wanted to be a Yankee. So, but the thing that would tilt me a little bit more towards Corbin is that Corbin is younger, and because Happ, I think, is 34.
Happ is 34. Yes, the Corbin deal is going to definitely be expensive. I heard $25 to $30 million a year for 4 or 5 years.
So it's definitely going to come with a hefty price tag. It's just a matter of, will Happ command that kind of?
Happ will definitely not command that. Trust me, he will not.
Yeah,
he'll probably get 2, maybe 3 years at like 45, maybe. So 15 a year, maybe.
Well, if it's Corbin you're taking on, I think that takes you out of the Machado running. And
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And we'll get to that burning rumor in a minute. I think, first of all, you have to remember what team we're talking about, first of all, which is what's their nickname? The best team money can buy. So,
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Every other team wishes they could spend the kind of money that the Yankees do.
Now, the Yankees did a smart thing for the first time in many years, which was to get under the luxury tax number so they would have that money to spend this offseason. And now it looks like it's starting to pay dividends.
For the first time since the luxury tax was instituted, they are not paying it. And that's definitely going to give them a lot more financial flexibility. However, you can't just do what the Phillies owners and just spend stupidly.
Oh, man, that was ridiculous. When I heard, oh, well, we're going to go spend so much money, we might even spend stupid money. You know what? If you're referring to stupid money, as if I read between the lines as a Bryce Harper move, is what I'm thinking.
Of course, that's what he was talking about. You really think he'd be saying that about anybody else?
Unless he's talking about Manny Machado. I think they have a young shortstop already.
No Los Dos.
Would they outspend the Yankees and go bring in both guys to Philadelphia? I doubt it. Well, swing full circle to the rumor I heard from Morosi that they were trying to get Gene Segura from Seattle. That was the original reason why they were talking to Seattle. And
if context is necessary. So if you don't know by now, Didi's going to be out for we don't know how long in the 2019 season.
They're talking 3 to 4 months, probably.
Which would put him in June, probably.
Right. So they need a shortstop. Now, there's many shortstop options out there. You could bring back Acha Maria on a 1-year deal. There's plenty of guys that you could put there. But what's the big burning name that's out there that everyone is saying is the hot commodity?
Manny Machado.
It's Manny Machado. I think because the Yankees are looking to retool and the Red Sox actually outspent the Yankees for the first time in, God knows how long, right?
Yeah, Jesus. I don't even know how long it's been since then.
We're talking about that they had a payroll of over $240 million.
And they won a World Series with it. That'll put a stop to, you don't need a $200 million payroll to win. Actually, you can. They just did it.
And I think just when the Yankees were desperate enough to win a World Series in 2009, most people don't remember this, but they spent over $400 million in that offseason.
They did, and it's just it's a matter of, again, it's not a matter of spending just to spend. It's a matter of spending smart. I don't think the Yankees are going to approach this offseason like we think they will, but I do think they will just flex some financial muscle because they are the Yankees, after all.
Do you really see them? I mean, I could see them pulling the Machado, but they really don't need Harper.
They don't need Harper, but Harper would definitely be nice. I mean, it really would be nice to have the gold-plated Porsche that you can't actually fit in your garage. But again, think about it. It can't fit in your garage.
Let's talk logic for a second. They really don't need Harper. They could use Machado because they're filling a spot. Now they're going to have an issue if they sign Machado to whatever deal. And then when Didi comes back, he's playing shortstop. We already know that.
We do already know that, but it's a matter of, do you want to out J.D. Martinez, the Red Sox? Do you think that because if they do sign him, they probably think that he can do for them what J.D. Martinez did for the Red Sox this past season.
Right, but I don't know, between the dirty reputation and not playing hard, running to first base, and basically telling the media, I don't run hard, like, these are concerns. I mean, J.D. Martinez came through in a big way for the Red Sox.
Honestly, you know what? I was a lot sure about this last week or even 2 weeks ago, but now I'm not sure. I waffle. I go back and forth.
It's one of those things where you're like, all right, it sounds good because then you're going to fit in with Stanton, Machado, Aaron Judge. When Didi comes back, we don't know what's going on in the first base position with the Yankees. So I don't know. Like, we know that their pitching is their concern, but they really need some relief in the bullpen. I heard Andrew Miller is a name that came up in rumor again that Cashman is talking to.
That's definitely interesting, but Andrew Miller is not the same Andrew Miller that they traded to the Indians a couple of years ago.
Well, the guy can't stay healthy now.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But what do we see here? So if you had to predict that these guys, and again, you're listening to our Left Unspoken Hot Stove update. We just heard, if you're just hearing this now or later or whenever you're listening to this, James Paxton has been traded to the Yankees. Where do we see a lot of these guys going? Do you see them in Yankee uniforms? Do you see them go other places? Where do you see these guys?
If I had a guess, and if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, I am absolute dog shit at predicting things. I suck at it. Corbin would probably end up in pinstripes. Harper would go to the Phillies, and I think Machado would go back to the Dodgers. I could be absolutely catastrophically wrong about all three of those things, but I'm just telling you that's what I'm thinking right now.
You think Machado goes back to the Dodgers even though they have Seager coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Where does he fit, though?
I honestly don't know. I'm just telling you, I don't think that anybody else will be able to pay him what he wants.
I don't know. I mean, if I had to look at it, I think Harper either will end up in Philly. We've heard Chicago. There's a rumor, a bunch of places that he wants to play in Chicago. I mean, Washington's basically out of the equation, right? We don't think he's going back to Washington.
No.
Okay, so
I wouldn't.
So we can eliminate that because that team's been a dumpster fire the past couple of seasons trying to get to the playoffs and they can't finish in the postseason. I don't know. When
it does happen, just be prepared for just get those "oh no, we suck again" memes ready.
Because Washington will lose another young prospect that they've really grown to like. But I agree with you.
Depends on who you ask in Washington.
I guess. But I think, wow. But I think that, like you said, I think Harper will go to Philly. And this is not Yankee bias because we're both Yankee fans here. But I think Machado is somehow going to end up in a Yankee uniform one way or the other. He's going to get paid in a major way, and they're going to have to put up with his bullshit. Hopefully they're going to be an offensive juggernaut like the Red Sox were, because that's what they basically did.
So if I'm going to be, we're here in a couple of weeks, if they pull the trigger on that deal, so you just want to watch me grovel. Is that what you're saying?
What?
You just want to watch me grovel, say you were right.
Why? That I said Machado's going to be in a Yankee uniform? Of course.
I don't see it. I mean, there's a part of me that would want that to happen because, I mean, he's Manny Machado, for God's sake. Who wouldn't want him on his team?
Well, let me throw another one out there at you. Do you remember the Jacoby Ellsbury situation?
Yeah.
How many times we said, oh, he's not going anywhere. He's going to stay in Boston. The Yankees won't make that move.
First of all, I didn't know you guys back then.
No, but I'm just saying that looking at that situation, the Yankees are not going to spend that. They come out of nowhere and they spend that money, and now it's dead money. Johnny Damon, too.
Well, Johnny Damon, actually, he won a championship with the Yankees, so he did what they signed him to do.
I know, but no one expected Johnny Damon was the enemy. He's not leaving Boston to go to the Yankees. And look what happened. 4 years, $51 million later.
Well, I wouldn't call Manny Machado the enemy.
No, I wasn't calling him the enemy. I'm just saying, looking at it, like no one the Yankees make moves when we think they're never going to make the moves, and then when we expect them to make the moves, then they don't make the moves.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like a superhero that can only turn invisible when you're not looking.
What? Oh man, I love when you come up with these comparison theories.
I'm just saying.
But we'll see. As we said, originally why we came on here to do Left Unspoken, if you were living under a rock when this news came out, James Paxton has officially been traded to the Yankees for a package including top prospect Justice Sheffield. The other guys, I think they said were really like on the teeter-totter. Like they really weren't going. They weren't going to come up to the big league club. They were probably
going to be a log jam because God knows what the outfield's going to look like. I mean, you got Frazier, you got Judge, and you've got Gardy for another year, so you weren't going to be able to. Yeah, these guys weren't going to see the majors.
No, it was basically you're in our system. All right, we'll just keep you there, but you might not see the league for about 5 or 7 years.
But that's exactly it. I mean, that's why they're called prospects and not sure things.
Well, that's why when I said, when they had the chance to trade Jabba Chamberlain for a Cliff Lee or a Roy Halladay, why they didn't do it.
Again, hindsight being 20/20.
I don't know, but that's kind of the beginning of the MLB hot stove. Oh, and Nick, I just saw it right here. The Yankees put it up. They had, how they put up the picture of the person when they acquire somebody?
Yeah.
And in the caption, it says Big Maple in the Big Apple.
Oh, that's cool. They're definitely gonna be having a lot more commercials for CBC broadcasting.
Does that mean like they're gonna all of a sudden get Canadian products as like sponsors and Canadian food stuff as sponsors?
Yeah, poutine in Yankee Stadium.
Or wait a minute, is that French Canadians? Well, maybe you see more French stuff too.
Could be. I don't know.
Oh, who the hell knows? We're not here to talk business. We're here to talk about.
We're here to talk about sports. Goddammit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that just about does it for us. Any final thoughts about what to expect in this crazy offseason? More money, more signings, right?
More money, more signings, and God knows what's going to happen, so buckle up, folks.
Well, this has been another edition of Left Unspoken. You'll see this up on our YouTube page. We'll get some links up to it on Twitter and Facebook so you can check out our analysis on this trade. For Nick Federa, I'm Nick Morganson. We'll see you again next time.
Good night, everybody!
Good night.